It's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as to Facebook Live. So if you are joining us from Facebook or YouTube Live, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Hopefully I'll be able to address any of the questions or comments you may have as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here. What are we looking at for our headlines? Well, for the rest of the night tonight, we can expect mostly clear skies. It'll be, again, another mild night with some muggy dew points, so we could even see some patchy fog develop. We also do have the chance for a spot shower or two to continue to bubble up here over the next hour or so before they all begin to collapse. Most of that has remained over western Kentucky, which I'll show you the radar in just a moment. But we also have that chance for a few more isolated showers or even some thunderstorms as we go through Sunday afternoon. Again, it's not going to be widespread, so many people will likely miss out on a shower or a storm, but some folks, especially if you're outside, you definitely want to pay attention just to the sky. If you see anything like a big cloud headed your way, pull up that 14 First Alert radar and see if you need to move into some sort of covering for at least 30 minutes until they pass. So that's kind of what we're going to be dealing with, honestly, as we go through much of next week. We'll continue to see daily chances for showers and storms through Friday, but I do want to emphasize it's not going to be raining every moment of every day, and again, not everybody is going to see a shower every day. We just have that potential every day, especially in the afternoon and early evening hours as we go through the work week. So while it is a little bit unsettled, it's not a complete loss of a week as we go through the first week of July. But here's a look at our current setup. We've got this area of high pressure that's kind of built up over the Ohio River Valley right now, and it's kind of bringing very warm, humid weather to much of the eastern seaboard right now. We've also got this boundary, this frontal boundary off to our northwest that is very slowly sliding its way in to our neck of the woods, and that's really what's going to prompt that chance for a few more showers as we go through tomorrow. And then a new feature we've got off to the southeast of us over the Atlantic there, that is Tropical Storm Chantal, and that is heading towards the Carolinas. They do actually have some tropical storm warnings in effect for North and South Carolina along the coast. So kind of the first tropical storm of the Atlantic hurricane season that's kind of impacting land there. Thankfully, it's not really all that strong, but it is still going to bring them some heavy rainfall and some gusty winds. But that will stay clear of us. We'll have that high pressure in place that's kind of blocking it to our southeast. But looking at our radar right now, here's a look. We do have, again, a spot shower or two primarily over western Kentucky. We've got one over in Davis County, in eastern Davis County there, a heavier downpour kind of just south and east of Enzer there, west of Whitesville. And then further to our south, we actually do have some lightning and thunderstorms that are kind of bubbling up over Muhlenberg County. However, it does look like they're going to start to collapse here. Most of any activity that we have out there right now, even though it is very minimal, will continue to kind of dissolve as the sun sets here and we lose that daytime heating element. But looking at our current temperatures, many of us warmed all the way up into the mid-90s earlier today. We've cooled back down mostly into the low to mid-80s. The cool spot on the map, Henderson, 79 degrees, 82 in Madisonville, around 85 here in the Evansville area. And we're looking at that muggy meter, and it is back up into that stifling category, so sitting at around 70. So if you were outside today, you definitely felt that mugginess. Our heat index values were actually up into the upper 90s to lower hundreds, but they remained below heat advisory levels. And now that we're cooling down a little bit, our actual temperatures aren't too far off from our feels like temperatures, maybe elevated a bit by a degree or two, but nothing too bad out there. And looking at your next 12 hours, again, we'll remain mostly clear across much of the tri-state outside of those spot showers that are kind of hanging around over western Kentucky right now. And then that'll lead us into another pretty nice day for our Sunday. Very similar to today, we'll start off with mostly sunny skies. And during the heating of the day, we'll see some puffy or cumulus clouds develop, and that's where we also have that chance for an isolated shower or storm through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. Temperatures top out at around 94 degrees. Now, a lot of the models have been struggling with the spot showers we have over western Kentucky, except for the NAM seems to be picking up on it a little bit. So going through the rest of this evening here, you can see they'll kind of fizzle out through the overnight hours. And then as we get through the heating of the day on Sunday, we'll have that chance for a few more spotty showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms that may linger into the evening before kind of coming to an end overnight into Monday. Now, thankfully, while we are tracking out that chance for a shower or thunderstorm, they are going to remain sub-severe. So we aren't outlooked for any severe weather Sunday or even as we get into Monday, and even as we go through much of next week, not really seeing much of a severe weather threat either, because that boundary really just is going to be drifting around. It doesn't really move all that much unless we get a stronger area of low pressure to develop and ride up along that boundary. We just kind of have these muggy, humid, kind of heating of the day showers to contend with. But here's a look at your rain and storm chances as we go through the next several days. Again, not everybody is going to see one. Generally, our rain chances are between 30 and 50% all of next week. So here's a look at what that looks like on our longer range European model here. So as that cold front sinks in from the northwest, we'll see some more showers possible on Monday, and then again on Tuesday. Again, a little bit more isolated there, perhaps a bit more in coverage for Wednesday and into Thursday. And then maybe we'll finally start to kind of kick out of this pattern here as we get into next weekend, but we still hold on to that chance for an isolated shower or a thunderstorm. But luckily, as I mentioned, we're not tracking out severe weather. However, because it is so humid out there, we do have the potential for some of those storms to produce locally heavy rainfall, which may lead to some isolated areas of flooding, just depending on if you get a shower or a thunderstorm more than once, or it just kind of sits over you for a little bit longer than usual. Not expecting a widespread with this, or a widespread threat with this, but just something to keep your eye on. And keep in mind as you go through next week, most days we do have that isolated risk for a heavier downpour. So there's a look at your next 7 days in terms of our temperatures. One thing that these showers and storms are going to do through next week is going to help cool us down to around average. Our average high is in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees, and we'll kind of hang out right along that red line as we go through the middle of next week as those showers and storms kind of pummel on through. So that is all I've got for the forecast this evening. Here's a look at your 7-day, just to kind of wrap it all up. And I know it just looks like a copy and paste forecast, but I promise I actually did put those percents in on purpose. So yes, each day we do have that risk, especially in the afternoon and into the evening hours. But again, not expecting a washout of a day on either of these days for next week. So still expecting plenty of dry time, and hopefully if you get hit with a shower, that will help bring you some cool relief as you go through next week. But overall temperatures should be right around average. So that is all I'm seeing here. I'm going to go ahead and look at the comments. If you guys have a question, please feel free to leave it down below. Looks like William says that he can't wait for to start recording rainfall again. So I'm assuming maybe you've got a nice little rain gauge set up there in your backyard. And of course, if you get any reports or if you do have a shower, please feel free to send them our way. We really appreciate you guys when you are able to do that. But that is all the comments or questions that I'm seeing. So I'm going to hop off of the live stream here, and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, have a great rest of your night and stay safe.